Amid all of this Russia fear mongering and nonsense, we now have Obama giving a statement to NPR. And there's this article on NPR. I want you guys to read it. I'll leave the link down below in the description. Check it out. We got some quotes here. So basically, he is seeming to not directly agree or sponsor the CIA's assessments, these unknown people, unnamed people, I should say, unnamed people giving not full on evidence and not clear evidence. And now we have massive fear mongering by the government. So here's what we got. So, quote, in an interview with NPR Steve Inskeep that is airing Friday on Morning Edition, Obama said, quote, I think there is no doubt that when any foreign government tries to impact the integrity of our elections, we need to take action, and we will, at a time and place of our own choosing. Some of it may be explicit and publicized. Some of it may not be. Alright, so now we're already starting to sound a little spooky, right? Now, what I just would like to say, he's saying we need to take action, and we will. Why didn't you do this when it came down to when we had the Wall Street bankers who destroyed our economy? How about getting the public option, which would give millions of people health insurance? How about maybe fighting for single payer? How about prosecuting the people who tortured all the detainees in Guantanamo Bay? How about all that stuff? Where were you on that? And now we have all this fear-mongering bullshit that Russia supposedly hacked it, in some way influenced it. I have no inferences. People are just bringing up the WikiLeaks, but there's no suffice evidence that actually shows that that was the source. And even if that was the source, it's still information that is accurate. So therefore, it shouldn't fucking matter who gave it because the information is not changed. The people deserve to know the truth. Okay? And if they want to retaliate by giving out information of politicians there, go right ahead. Here we got another quote. Quote, with the question of Russia's ultimate motivation for the hack becoming increasingly divisive, Obama was careful to not endorse a CIA assessment reported by NPR and other news outlets that asserts that Russia's goal was to elect Trump. So what he's trying to do here is dance around. Basically, he's trying to say that Russia interfered with the election results by influencing it somehow, some way. He's not endorsing the assessment, therefore leaving it in somewhat of a foggy space. And all of this at the same time, he's actually still trying to blame Hillary on the loss. So he's playing a lot of roles, and I feel like he's lost himself ever since he ran his campaign in 2008. He ran as a real progressive, a real liberal. Now he's just a bullshit dude trying to find himself because he's got the donors, he's got the people who believed in him, and he has the people who fucking hate him. So he's being very wishy-washy at this point, and I just want to stress that this whole Russia fear-mongering shit with no clear suffice evidence and unnamed people actually saying what it is, because the reality is that the CIA, there can be tons of reports out there, just like we saw in Iraq before we went to Iraq. Oh, WMD's this, WMD's that. People got duped back then. I don't think you guys understand. I think the Iraq War, the authorization had about like 70% acceptance, somewhere around there, according to some polls from back then by Gallup. But people actually believe this shit, and we really need to stop, because now we don't have just the mainstream media being the ones reporting on this shit. So you guys should understand, this is fear-mongering, unnamed officials giving the evidence, unclear evidence that doesn't actually exist, which we can see because if they had shown it, clearly there would be report after report after report and factual, clear evidence that this actually happened, which is honestly just not there. So we have to make sure that we understand that this is not actual evidence, and believe me, if it actually happened, sure, come out, show it to me, show me the evidence. I'd love to see it. I'm waiting for it. So another quote here, quote, while Obama is threatening to retaliate against Russia, he has only about 5 weeks left in the Oval Office. Trump has dismissed, in fact, mocked intelligence assessments tying the DNC and Podesta hacks to Russia, and he campaigned on improving the U.S. relationship with the country. So this actually brings up a good point. John Podesta, you know, the dude who actually had the emails leaked from the DNC, I think she was he was her campaign head or something like that. it seems like he's also trying to use them as a scapegoat of no evidence because they ran such a shitty campaign. And not only that, but they were the shadiest motherfuckers to run a campaign in U.S. history. Not literally, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get the point. So, without going too far into it, the point here is that please, please, please do not fall into the brainwashing of this propaganda and fear mongering by the government. It's all bullshit. And if there's something you want to give Trump credit for, it's not to try and push us into a bullshit war with a country that has nuclear capabilities and a country that will not be something that will work out for everyone. Keep in mind, mutually assured destruction does exist, people. Don't believe the propaganda and fear mongering by the CIA and the government.